Now we are still missing a couple of beams up in the bow. And because they're just a few individual beams, the quickest and easiest way of fixing this is going to be to just manually create those beams. And we come in here, we set that as our current part, and hopefully I selected a beam, and you can see Hull Stiffeners is our current module. So we can go into the beam dialog, and we'll select the one that's closest to it. So it has this normal. So that next segment is probably going to be fairly close to that normal. So we'll just go ahead and create, but we don't have a node there. So you can see when I clicked in that area, it kept snapping to the same node. This is where I was talking about before, like if they were in different modules, we'd need to add a node to the Hull Stiffener module. Because if we look at that as our current part, you can see this is where we have nodes for these stiffeners, and there's not one on center line here. But the easy way to create one is our Hull Stiffeners is still our current part. Come into dynamic query, and we do a dynamic query of a node. So you use the drop list here and select node. And now you can right click on that new where we want a node. If we right click on the existing node there, we can say copy to current module, and it'll create a node in the current module, which was our Hull Stiffeners. So we can do that for each one of these locations where we're going to need a point. And we'll need one there, even though there is a frame, but that's a separate module. Now, the other thing we could have done would be to merge the stiffeners to the hull plating. If we had taken this Hull Stiffeners module and dragged it onto the hull, then they would all be in the same module, and those nodes from the mesh or from the tris and quads would have been available for making the beam. But if we wanted to keep them separate, at least for the time being, then we can use that copy to current module command under the dynamic query. So we'll grab this beam again, create a new one, and we'll need to turn the nodes on in order to be able to select that one. If we try and select by clicking on the nearest corner of a quad or tri, it won't find it because it's not associated. It's in a different module. So here we can go from this node to this node, create the beam, and then we'll click on the next one down, create the beam, and I will hit the ID, grab the next beam down so that I get the normal that we're looking for. We create that segment. And then we do the last one here. So I think we have all of our beams. We've removed all our duplicates. We've fixed all our free edges. This should be in good shape. So we can save this model.